Alright, okay. I am here with a man that has had, let's just say he's had a lot of ups and downs in the league, but one thing is for certain, this man is always evolving, and he calls himself the luckiest, greatest legend. I am here with Pits of Death. Thank you for requesting this interview, and I hear that you have some things to get off your chest, so I'm just gonna let you do that. What are some things you want to talk about?
First things first is that I know lately I've been going a bit downhill as of late, but when it comes to getting down on my knees, there's always a way to get back up. And the fact of the matter is Icon, I want a match with you, and I want you to break the walls down when we get into that ring. And I'm not talking about Chris Jericho. The one guy I am talking about is me, the phenomenal AJ Styles. When I hit you with that Styles Clash, you better hope you step in your game, because as of late, ever since I've seen your matches, you've been kind of going off curve yourself. But you know, losers doesn't make jobbers. Pros is what makes winners. And the fact, and you and me, what I want us to do is you and I get in that ring. I want you to put us, give me the best fight you can get, like you normally would, like our last match we had before last season at the main event in WrestleMania. And after that, I'm still not getting my mind off the U.S. title. Eventually, whenever my time is around that corner, that title is gonna go on the waist of the phenomenal AJ Styles.
And I want to take this moment to talk about your history with or the kind of the bad blood that you have with one of your well, how do I say this? One of your fellow SmackDown kind of superstars, Dave Stowe. What do you have to say in regards to him?
Well, Dave Stowe, well, I mean, I got a few words to say to the toothpick. Is you and I will have our match soon enough, but that time has to wait. But as far as you go, Dave Stowe, if you want a match with me, I won't be afraid to turn that down. But fortunately, that's just not going to happen, because I got other things to worry about, because I got other fishes to fry in the barbecue pit. And after that, hopefully, I'll rise to the top. And as for you, you just be below me.
And as far as a match with Dave Stowe goes, when do you think will be the perfect time to do the match with Dave Stowe? When are you willing to face Dave Stowe? Because that obviously is a money match. That is a match that a lot of people in the league, Raw and SmackDown, want to see. So when do you think is going to be the right time to do that match?
When the day and the clock is ticking, that's when I'll be in there with him.
Okay, and how do you feel about your match you just had with Shane? Of course, it didn't go exactly how you wanted it to. What are some adjustments you're going to make sure that the next time you get in the ring, it ends up with a win?
Well, my adjusting is that Shane may have pulled it off with the unexpected sweet chin music, but it's not the end of AJ Styles. And it isn't going to be over between me and Shane. But eventually, because me and him, we're going into that ring once again for as many times as it needs, because I'm not going anywhere.
Would you like a rematch with Shane somewhere down the line?
Possibly. The guy is former United States champion. I mean, obviously, I mean, if he's good as he says he talks, that like he did in our match, not long ago, recently, then yeah, I'll be willing to go with him once again. But it ain't just gonna be one-on-one. I'm thinking of another stipulation in mind. That's if the Booker in charge makes it happen. Diesel D is riding stream with me as well, and that match should be a TLC match if Shane's accepts.
Yeah, yeah, TLC match with Shane. Is that what you're requesting?
Yeah, on the next pay-per-view.
Okay, all right. Do you know what the next pay-per-view is?
Well, I mean, Extreme Rules already is over with. What is our next pay-per-view?
Well, the next pay-per-view officially is to celebrate National Women's History Month. We will be hosting
The Mae Young Classic, right?
Yes, the Mae Young Classic will be our next pay-per-view. But Pitts, I want to ask you again. How do you feel about this current season? What do you think about Raw? What do you think about the people on Raw? Just what are you thinking as a whole?
Well, I got nothing negative in the side of things as far as Raw goes. But I mean, I think those guys are doing their own thing, and so is in the Yellow Brand and NXT. Pretty sure, beating the crap out of each other, trying to prove themselves who can outbest one another. That's about it.
And how did you feel about the draft? How do you feel about being on the same brand as Dave Stowe?
Well, it just comes and goes. I mean, me and him were together at the same time, and even though me and him are rivalries, we'll have a chance to prove ourselves.
Yes, I compare you guys' rivalry to Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. Two guys that can't stand, two guys that hate each other, two guys that just want to beat the crap out of each other, two guys that are similar to each other but different in a lot more ways. You guys both have the same interests but just a different way of going at things, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys both fight. Now, how do you feel about people like Dave Stowe and other people trying to single you out the league? How do you feel about that?
I mean, he can pull as much strings in my legs as much as he wants to, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna lead. And Dave Stowe, with you as Aleister Black, there is no way that you would ever, and I mean ever, be as good as phenomenal AJ Styles. Even though I think you got skill yourself. But that doesn't mean I beat you, because I've beaten you in the past. And I'm pretty sure you have as well. And I will do so again.
How soon do you want a match with, how soon would you be open to having a match with Dave Stowe? Because that's the match we all want to see.
Well, as soon as I get my stuff in track, I'll be with him. He wants a match with me so badly, he's gonna get the match.
How do you feel about him saying that that you ducked him in the U.S. title tournament match? That was originally, if you don't remember, it was supposed to be a triple threat. You versus Dixon versus Dave Stowe. It was the first round of the U.S. title tournament. He says that you ducked him. He said that you didn't show up because he was in that match and you wanted no parts, and that you feared him. How do you respond to that, to those accusations?
Well, he can assume as much as he likes to make assumptions. But of him saying that I ducked him, I didn't. I just felt like I'm not ready, and also I was not on when the match took place. Even though he had his chance at the U.S. title, but unfortunately, he got defeated, fair and square. But it's not like you get another chance anyways. And when me and him, if he gets in my way, I get in his.
Did you get to see Dave Stowe's match with Dixon this past weekend at Extreme Rules?
I have.
What did you think about it?
Icon nearly almost had it, but he just can't. He just needs to stop messing up and get his mind back in the match.
How do you feel about his?
It's not like he's gonna go me one-on-one.
Yes, with a match with Dixon being right around the corner, probably the next match that you will have will be against Dixon. How do you feel about Dixon as a superstar? How do you feel about him as a talent? And how do you think you will fare against him in an actual match?
Well, it's pretty simple. When you get dropped on the floor, when I slap on the wood 2x4s, I'll slap you across the face, throw you a few punches in, give you those knees and kicks and punches. What else can you say about that Icon? He's so legendary. Maybe he could step in a future legend. And that's me as being one of the greatest of all time. But I'm sorry, that's Dave Stowe's line. I'm the best of the best, and that's all I can say.
And yeah, what's some other things that you have to say? I'm not gonna restrict you to answer the questions that I have for you. What are some things that you are thinking right now about anybody?
My expectations?
Yes.
You're talking about who I want to go up against once again? Well, there's a few people that I never had the opportunity to go up with. But other than that, it's a win-lose thing. You either got what it takes or you don't. Plus your sweat and tears, your blood, everything you show and everything you go when you step into those ropes. There can only be one winner. But that doesn't mean that you might fall, and just try not to fail if you're willing to succeed at something.
Those are very inspirational words right there, man. What else do you have to say?
Well, I got nothing else in my mind. Just waiting for another match. Maybe I'll step it back in the game once again.
Do you believe that you are anywhere, any place, anytime type of fighter?
Well, fighting is a whole different story than wrestling. But I think I might have an advantage of my skills and put myself in the test with other opponents that won titles. They may have accomplished more, they may have been around more than I have. But I've won a few titles myself. Back in the NXT days, I was United Kingdom, North American, won my World Heavyweight Championship, and had a 3-0 winning streak as the television champion. But all that's going to be history. But there's some titles I haven't gotten to obtain and get my hands on just yet. And I'm making it clear that it's been challenging. It's been real competitive. It's been rough. Just don't let it hit you back in the you know what when you get the finish. And when I pin you 1, 2, 3.
Okay, my last question has to be, by the end of season 4, where do you see yourself?
Where do I see myself?
Yeah.
Well, I see myself being in the spotlight, being back in the spotlight. When that light shines right above me, you just see like it's been how gifted a guy like me can be as champion.
So, how did you feel about season 3?
Well, it's just like every other season. When you get better, you can start from a jobber, mid-carder to a main eventer. And there's one thing to say, is you just cannot make any screw-ups. Do not make any mistakes. Do not make any missteps. And eventually you prevail. You'll be victorious. You'll be unstoppable. You can get a long streak going until somebody beats you to it. So don't let your guard down.
Okay, well, you have to say in closing.
That I'm back in the game. And it ain't the end. It's never the end.
And is there a message you want to send to your fellow members of SmackDown Live?
You want some, come get some. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm here.
Okay, well, thank you for requesting this time. We're glad to have you, and I would love to have you back.
Oh, my pleasure. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.